What is up, guys? What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today, I recently got a comment a few days ago asking if I could make a video on my strength and conditioning workout, right? Or use my workouts, like how do I train, like workout, how do I exercise for martial arts? So, be prepared. This is going to be a long video, but it's going to be worth it. If you want to get great at martial arts, great at fitness, being able to be physically capable to do martial arts or to even go pro, to be a fighter, this is going to be your video to watch, right? So hurry up, click the save, watch later on this video. You're going to want to watch this, share it to some friends, right? It's going to be a long, in-depth video. It's going to be so in-depth that I'm going to break it all down. I'm not going to gatekeep, and that this video is even going to be in my course. That's how in-depth this video is going to be. So, if you like this content, if you like my content, go ahead, subscribe, but comment on this video if you like this, if you want more stuff like this. This video, I kind of like a vlog type where, it's just me doing stuff I'm just videoing. And if you want more of this type of stuff, please comment, tell me down below, share it to a friend, and be sure to like the video as well. So, without further ado, we're gonna get right in. This is it. This is my strength and conditioning routine and workout for JKD. Now, real quick, you see on the screen, I always have this little intro with these certain posters of JKD and stuff and Bruce Lee quotes. And this is my favorite one right here. If you do JKD or Wing Chun or whatever, this is my favorite one because it was understood to me by Guru Dan that Jeet-Kune-Do is really research and development, and this, from what it seemed like he was saying to me, Guru Dan made a big emphasis that this is what Jeet-Kune-Do is, that it's research your own experience, absorb what's useful, reject what's useless, and add specifically what is your own, through research and testing. Now, obviously, I could be wrong, but don't quote me on this, but for me, this is the philosophy of Jeet-Kune-Do. Like breaking Jeet-Kune-Do down to its simplest stuff. This is what Bruce did to get Jeet-Kune-Do. And his expression of fighting or expression of the martial arts. And so this is like the model I try to really go out through all my training. Jeet-Kune-Do is not a martial art, it's a philosophy. Why? Because you can apply philosophy to anything in life. To not only fighting, but anything in life you're trying to do, in business, and work, and trying to get better at anything. And so I'll always have this in my intro because I feel like this is Jeet-Kune-Do. And we're going to see with this video of my workout routine, I did this exact motto. I researched my own experience. I did research. I absorbed what's useful. I figured out what works, certain exercises, certain techniques, certain things you need to know for exercising. I rejected what's useless, stuff we don't need to do in this, stuff you don't need, exercise you don't need. It's not going to be in this video. All the stuff I'm going to show you in this video are stuff that I've seen that works, that has helped me get better, and stuff that I've seen other people do to get better. And then lastly, to add specifically what is your own through research and testing. And that obviously, that's what makes it unique. That's what makes you, you. My workout it's similar to Bruce Lee, and if you want to learn how to work out like Bruce Lee's, my course, whatever, go in the link in the description. It's like $5. But my routine is similar to Bruce Lee, but it's not exactly like Bruce Lee's routine. Why is that? Because I can't do it. You're gonna see in this video, Bruce Lee worked out a lot, and I got a lot of the stuff from his routine and from how he trained, but I also got the stuff from a lot of other sources as well. So without further ado, we're gonna get right in the video. With this video also, there is no excuse. You're gonna see that a lot of this you're doing by yourself. That's one of the biggest things I get is, Joel, how do I train martial arts by myself? In this video, you're gonna see the physical side you can train by yourself. It's really, as long as you be creative, you can do most things in martial arts by yourself, really. And so we're gonna hop right in. The first thing I'm gonna talk about is attributes. If you want to be good at martial arts, Guru Dan said this, but I totally agree. I think when you talk about martial arts skill, 50% of martial arts skill is attributes, and then the other 50% is technique. So what I mean, attributes are all the physical traits, your speed, strength, power, stamina, flexibility, all those sensitivity, all those physical things, those are attributes. The other 50% is technique, the actual skill, how to punch, using your body, kinetic linking, body mechanics, economy of motion, stuff you will learn through martial arts, skill, like the things you will mentally know to do. So with martial arts, really any type of technique, 50% is going to be physical attributes and 50% is going to be actual technique doing it, even in punching, kicking, anything. So that's why it's so important. If you're a martial artist, you better be working out. Gone are the days of martial artists saying, oh well, using weights are going to slow you down. That's cap. That's not true. That's not true. You just got to know to train. People think you go to the gym for 2 weeks, you get huge and swole. That's not the case. I go to the gym a lot and I'm skinny. That's not the case. So that's the first thing. If you want to get good at martial arts and be healthier, you need to be working out. You need to be lifting weights. In this video, I'm going to show you how to lift weights, but yeah, you need to be doing that. So we're going to get right in. This video starts off with me showing a few things of why it's important to work out and that doing these workouts will get you these results. Like I said, for martial art skill, half of it is physical attributes, is your strength, speed, timing, that stuff, muscle density, fast twitch muscle fibers, tendon strength, fascia, all that is physical attributes. And you can't teach that to somebody. You got to train and work out. So through watching this video and learning this stuff, you'll be able to do some of this stuff. So smaller. There we go. Let's see. Go back. Here we go. Okay. I'm trying to get right on the dot. Okay, there we go. Okay, so here you're gonna see a few things that I've done that I can do, and then you'll see a few things of Bruce Lee doing stuff. But this is to show you that through working out correctly and knowing what to do, you can do stuff like this. I know that was not staged. I know some guys might think, oh, I paid him to do that. This video, actually, this wasn't even the first video. This was the second time I did it. The first time I did it, the guy, it was funnier. It was so funny. It was so funny. So much so to where his brother said, hey, do it again. I got a video. Do it again. So I didn't pay this guy. This is just a 1-inch punch showing body mechanics, but also through training and exercising in such a way, you can develop tremendous power. Some speed stuff. Because yet again, yes, some of that is technique. It's technique, not telegraphed, yes. But then a lot of it is just being fit enough to move that fast, which comes through exercise and training that we'll talk about in this video. We got my sidekick. There we go. Now you got Bruce Lee, the paramount of speed and power. I mean, to give you reference of this video, Bruce Lee's what, 135 in this video? This guy, at least 180, 190. So already has 30, 40 pounds at least on Bruce Lee. At least. And Bruce was able to hit him that far back. What this is not going to show is that in real life, when this happened, the guy had to go to the hospital, and he had bruises on his chest from where Bruce hit him, and the guy had a pad. So yet again, but people will say, oh, well, Bruce Lee didn't lift weights. That's not true. He did. He was one of the first martial artists to use weightlifting. That's not true. He did. And he lifted weights a lot. He still did some calisthenics, but a lot of it, especially toward this later life when he was more ripped and shredded, was a lot of circuit training, a lot of weight training, and martial arts training. So don't fool you, he did lift weights. He did it a certain way to get the speed and power he wanted while maintaining his physique. Here's the speed. And here's speed. Like I said, this technique, yes, but I've yet to see anyone move this fast, especially kicking. So definitely, like I said, he's the leading example. Here's a picture of him, one arm cleaning and pressing. Now, what? This is at least, we can say the bar's 45. If you weightlift, you know that. We'll say that plates are 25. Right. That's a lot of weight. What? That's already 50. Let's say that's right at, we'll just say 90 pounds. We'll just say 90, 80 pounds. We'll just say 80 pounds for the sake of the argument. That's 80 pounds. He's lifting with one arm. Bruce is 135. Folks, that is around half his body weight. That's crazy. To be able to one arm clean and press half your body weight is ridiculous. That's I'll be honest. Nobody nowadays can do that. I'll be honest. You know, maybe someone like Anatoly, the gym guy that does the gym pranks. Anatoly, he's really strong. He'd probably do that. But that's crazy. You should try. I used to one arm clean and press, and it's ridiculously hard. So go to the gym next time. Put some weight in a bar. Let's say put 10 pounds. Don't even try hard. Put 10 pounds on a barbell and try to one arm clean and press it. You can look up a clean and press. It's simple. You're not going to be able to do it. Nevertheless, half your body weight. So he was very strong. That's part of the reason why he could punch so strong. That he could. You watch videos of Joe Louis and Dan DeSano saying Bruce Lee could hit as hard as a heavyweight while himself being 135. But a lot of people said he could do this because he could. It was real. It's fact. When you got a guy lifting half his body weight with a one-arm clean and press, you're going to be able to punch hard. So that's what we're going to get into, how to do that. How is that possible? But part of that is, you know, compound lifts. That's very important. He did a lot of compound lifts to gain strength and power. And so you could, I used to do the clean and press. And one easy way to do that is, you know, do the regular clean and press with two arms, you know. And all our clean and press is, you can look at after this video, but all our clean and press is if the barbell's on the ground, you perform a deadlift to get it off the ground, then you snatch it up to your chest, then you extend it up. So it's that motion, you can look it up. But that itself is a good exercise to develop power because you're using multiple muscle groups, your core, your back, your arms, your legs, to drive the the barbell up in the air. So that is a good workout to do. Here, he's bicep curling this weight that we already know is probably at least 70, 80 pounds, at least. So, the way I start my workouts, you always got to warm up. That's the biggest thing, guys. Of course, this is all fast forwarded. This workout took me like 2 hours to do, you know. And of course, a lot of it is just like me not trying to, you know, do as fast as I can. I'm like, you know, not doing it fast. But the warm up is the most crucial part to exercise, to martial arts, because you do not get hurt if you warm up. If you just go in there and start lifting weights, if you just go in there and start training without warm up and stretching, you will get hurt. And if you get hurt, you cannot train. Now you got to wait a few weeks to get recovered. Don't do that. So you should be warming up for at least 15 minutes. At least. So you're going to see the first part of the video, I'm warming up, I'm moving around, I'm warming up. Your warm-ups consist of first moving around, moving your neck, moving your joints around first, then stretching, doing the leg stretches, all the stretches you can think of doing. And then lastly, moving around, actually moving to warm up the body. Because you don't want to stretch and then get right in the workout. If you stretch, then you got to warm up, move to get the blood flowing so then you're ready to move. And when you stretch, it doesn't matter how many stretches you do. It matters how long you stretch. The longer the better. You shouldn't be trying to touch your toes for 5 seconds and then get up and you're doing something else. No. The longer the better. If you're stretching, you want really 30 seconds is a good number, but at least 30 seconds. At least 30 seconds of each thing. That way you're actually warmed up. And then again, after that, you're going to move around and get your body, you know, moving around. So this, I actually warmed up before I filmed this. So I'm already pretty loose. But see, now I'm actually moving my body around. I'm moving my body around, getting myself warmed up, coordinated. Because that's the last thing you want to do. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You can look this up. You can look up, like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar interview Bruce Lee, whatever. It's gonna pop up, and he attributes his basketball career for never getting injured, and he thanks Bruce Lee for that because Bruce Lee taught him to always have a good, thorough warm up before you train, before you fight, before you whatever. That way you do not get hurt. Because if you get hurt, now you're gonna be back a few weeks, a few months of training, of working out, of exercising. So you're gonna miss those gains. So here we go. So this is something new I started doing. After warm up, during the exercises, I will sometimes punch and then constrict as hard as I physically possibly can. This works two ways. This will make you punch faster and more powerful. And the first way is mind-muscle connection. If you work out, if you're a gym bro, you know this. But essentially, whenever let's just say punch. Whenever you punch, the more you punch the bag, the more you punch, you get better at it. Why is that? Yes, your body gets stronger to a degree, but also your mind is able to tell the muscle what fibers to use more efficiently, better. So the more you punch, the more you do any repetition of anything, the more your brain says, oh, okay, we're getting used to this movement more and more. So much so to where, let's say push-ups. This is a good example. Here we go. This is a better example. Push-ups. Let's say you don't do push-ups a lot. And let's say I told you, do push-ups right now as many as you can. And you don't do push-ups. You might only be able to knock out 20, which is good or bad for you, doesn't matter. But let's say you say, you know what, I'm going to do push-ups every single day. And let's say you do 1 or 2 sets of push-ups every day. So you start from today, and let's say today was 20 push-ups. By the end of this week, so after a few days have passed, let's say 3 days, 4 days passed, or a week, no, we'll say a week of time has passed of you doing these push-ups, you're able to do a lot more push-ups. And it's not because you've gotten stronger, because a week isn't enough time to really build a lot of muscle. So like you might be able to do 20 push-ups now, and then a week later you might be able to do 30 or 40. It's not because you got stronger, but it's because the mind-muscle connection got stronger. Because your brain at first was like, this is an awkward motion, this is an awkward movement, I've not done push-ups really. So it's weird for your brain. It doesn't know what muscles to use, the muscle fibers to use. But then in a week later, you've done push-ups so many times, your brain said, oh, it's push-ups, we got it. And your brain knows what muscle groups to use and what muscle groups not to use, to not activate, to save energy. So that's kind of mind-muscle connection, that your brain, through time, and your brain keeps getting better. It keeps evolving. It keeps, it's able to make a stronger connection the more you do it. So with that, you're going to punch harder, faster, whatever. So when I practicing, sometimes I'll punch and I'll constrict as hard as I can. When I constrict as hard as I can, and I think of the muscles I'm using when I constrict. So my forearm, my core, my bicep, my tricep, like I really flex hard when I punch to feel that connection. So my brain knows, hey, when Joel punches really hard, we're using these muscles. There was a study done, because I've done a lot of research over this, that most people when they work out, let's say the bench press, most gym bros, we won't even say regular people, most gym bros are only using about 30 to 40% of those muscle fibers for the bench press. That your brain doesn't access all the muscle fibers because it'd be too much. You'd be too strong. So even if you've been weightlifting for years, you're probably only working about at 30 for 40% of your muscle fibers in that exercise. So you don't hurt yourself, because obviously if your brain used all the muscle fibers, you'd hurt yourself. They did a study that powerlifters, people that can deadlift 1,000 pounds, people that can clean and press, 200-300 pounds, ridiculous numbers, that they're operating at 70% of their muscle fibers. So now you have guys lifting the heaviest stuff in the world, and it's only at 70% of the muscle fibers, showing you that mind-muscle connection is very important. That just by doing the movement so many times, it teaches the brain to use more of that muscle group. And that's why you want to constrict like that. That's why reps are so important. That's why doing 100 punches a day can really help. You know, of course, don't hurt yourself, but it can help because you doing the exercise so many times helps your brain know what to use and how much to use and makes it stronger. Like, so that's why the push-up analogy is great, because you can do push-ups in a few days right now, and you're going to notice the difference. You're going to notice in a few days, you're going to be way better at push-ups. And it's not because you got stronger. Like, really, it's not. I mean, you might get a little stronger, but no, like, it's because of mind-muscle connection that it takes a few weeks for you to actually build muscle noticeable enough to where you would increase in, like, the lift or whatever. So that's the first reason I use that. The second reason, I've done more research into fascia and like connective tissue, because that is actually, it plays a very important part in martial arts, in movement, in speed and power. And so with constricting like that, it trains your tendons the same way, because your tendons are very important when you're punching, when you're really moving at all, really. But when you're constricted and you're flexing as hard as you can, you're also using your tendons and really putting strain on them to get stronger because you're not moving. But also your fascia. Your fascia is important. And your fascia is connective tissue, but essentially your fascia is the organ or like the thin layer that surrounds all your muscle. And by constricting as hard as you can, yet again, just doing it over and over again, it makes your fascia, how to say, like, better at controlling your muscle. Because if I'm correct, I'm new at this, I've just started studying this, but your fascia is like responsible for like controlling your muscle, you know, and you have fascia all over your body, all over, on top of any muscle, there's fascia. So like the best way I could explain it is like, if this is your muscle, your bicep muscle, then the fascia is this very, very thin layer of tissue that surrounds the muscle like this. So the more like sport-specific exercise you do, like plyometrics or like constricting, the better your fascia is at controlling the muscle and getting it harder or relaxed or whatever. So the main thing with this, like I said, is just getting my brain used to firing at will, getting used to tensing as hard as I can when I punch, because then it's going to generate more power. So that's one thing you can add in your workouts, is just a few times lock out a punch and squeeze as hard as you can for a few seconds. And also notice what muscles you're using when you do that too. And see, I only do it a few times, but that's a very long explanation of kind of how it works. And then, like I said, here too, now I'm really just warming up, I'm moving around, I'm trying to get loose. If you don't know what I'm doing there, I'm just practicing the side kick and then follow with the finger jab. That works pretty well, so I'm just practicing that. Okay, so I think the way I organize this is almost like a circuit, almost like my version of a circuit that I start with warming up, stretching first. Then, you know, I constrict the muscles a little bit. Then I'll do some overcoming isometrics, or just isometric work, which you're going to see right now. And then I will go on the workout. And then after one full set of my workout, then I'll like shadow box, move around, martial art train. And then I go back into a set of the workout. And then I'll martial art train, box, whatever. And so I kind of do like that. So, but before I work out, I do overcoming isometric training. I'll say like once a week now. Once a week, maybe twice a week, but once a week usually. This is a very, 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 very good thing to do if you're a martial artist. It's very good. So you see, I'm holding, this barbell is like 45 pounds. So you see, and I'm only it's like 170, something like that. I'm 170. So you see, I'm able to hold it for a decent amount of time away from my body, arms extended. Why is this important? What does this have to do with anything? You see, I didn't slow it down. This just, I've been doing it for a while. Bruce used to do this, and a lot of the old school strongmen used to do this. And it essentially helps generate more power and speed, because just like the punching I we talked about, when your arms, well, just in general, overcoming isometrics, all that is just doing some sort of exercise to where you can really you're only holding that exercise position in one position, either like locked out, or let's say you're on a bench press and you're trying to push it off the bar, but it's too much weight. There's a lot of ways to do this, but for what I'm doing, the reason I'm holding out like that is because it does strengthen your muscles, but it also strengthens your tendons, which are very important, very, very important. That's Bruce doing that. But let me go back. Here we go. So I'm holding it. Yikes. There we go. I'm holding it here because this simulates, when I punch, my fist is away from my body, extended parallel to the ground. So I'm holding in that position with weight to really overload the muscles and tendons to get used to strengthening that part of my punch, this part. And when I'm holding the weight, it's heavy, so I'm holding it up. I use all the muscles that I'm going to use in a punch, and I'm constricting it to keep it up. And with me not moving, it has a lot of time under tension, and that's like a bodybuilder term for like, how to explain, like, whenever you're doing an exercise and it's really hard on your muscles, that's time under tension. That part specifically, when it's hard and you're doing it and it hurts, that is what breaks the muscle down and in turn will make you stronger. So when you're holding it out, it hurts the entire time. It's like, I'm not doing this. It hurts. Therefore, the whole time I'm having time under tension on the muscles and tendons, but I'm only doing one rep, because in exercising, the main way you get hurt is by the range of motion, is that doing it so many times you get hurt. But with this, you're only doing one rep, so you're not going to get hurt. You can't get hurt. So I'm holding out as long as I can, and I'm using all the muscles I'm going to use in a punch. But since I'm not moving, my tendons are going to be activated as well. That since I'm standing still, this strengthens your tendons a lot, and your tendons are incredibly important when you talk about speed and power. If you want to learn more about overcoming isometrics, because it's like as much as I'll go into it, because it's a whole rabbit hole to go down to. But this right here is one of the reasons why Bruce Lee is so strong. This also will make your muscles denser. Not necessarily just bigger, but denser, like tighter. So if you want to learn more about overcoming isometrics, then I'm going to show you that here we go. This guy's the guy to go. No Limit Squad. He has the best stuff on overcoming isometrics, and the video I highly recommend to watch to understand this stuff is this one. Bruce Lee and the ISO chain, his feats finally make sense. Watch this one. This is it. You can also watch this one, Compressed Power, Building Dense, Powerful Muscles, That Benefits of Isometric Training. These are awesome videos. And then there's another one. He has so many good videos. You should watch his videos. Your mind's going to be blown, because this is how Bruce Lee was able to punch somebody and he go flying. It wasn't fake. He could do that, and your tendons have a huge part to play. If you don't know what your tendons are, your tendons and your fascia are your connective tissue. Your tendons connect your muscles to your bone. So if this was your bicep muscle, and let's say my hand is your skeleton, the muscle sits on top of the skeleton, well then the tendon would be this little string connective tissue that connects the muscle to the bone. So when I flex, it moves the muscle, and and I actually can move my arm. So tendon strength has a lot to do with power, and you need to do it. You need to start training overcoming isometrics, and in this video you're going to see a few different exercises to do that. But go watch these videos. Watch these videos if you want to learn how to punch ridiculously hard. If you want to learn how to punch ridiculously fast. That's how you do it. Isometrics. So, right back in the video. But so yeah. So the way to practice this, I'll give you the application now. start with the barbell at first. Sometimes I put weight on it a little bit, but I truly just try to do just the barbell, get a barbell, and have it on the power rack about chest height. You're going to grab it, pick it up, and almost fully extend your arms. You know, don't hurt yourself, but almost like fully extend them, and then hold it for as long as you can, chest level. If you're first doing this, you're going to see that it's going to go like this. You're going to say, grab, it's going to go down. But the more you do it, the stronger you get at it. And like I said, this strengthens your muscles and tendons, because just if you think about it, the way I'm holding it out, this is going to strengthen my arm and my body in this motion. That way, my punches, since it's away from my body, my punches will be stronger and faster. So do this, and you really only need 2 or 3 sets. And you're just doing it for as long as you can. So it's only going to be a few seconds. That's all you need, though. That's all you need with overcoming isometrics. It's just a few seconds. 6 seconds is good. But as long as you can do it is the real thing. As long as you can physically do it and you're going to go down, that's fine. And only do 2 or 3 sets of this only. Or maybe once, maybe twice a week. You don't need a lot of it, because you'll still be working out anyway. But so that's me doing 1 set. That's picture Bruce Lee using the iso chain, and he's practicing the curling, so he's curling it. This is another version of, actually, he's pressing up. So he's using his forearms and his biceps doing it. Here is another overcoming isometric thing, which is pushing against the wall, punching against the wall. This yet again, I'm pushing just like I'm going to punch, but now I have resistance. I'm pushing against something, thus using the muscles and tendons I'm going to use for that punch. Doing it, I'm doing it as, you can't tell I'm doing it as hard as I physically can for as long as I physically can. So you're going to see, I'm going to go, and that's, the lead punch. I'm doing as hard as I physically can, really trying. And since I'm not doing reps, that means I can do this as hard as I can and not hurt myself. And yet, time under tension is very important. So I can do this as hard as I physically can without hurting myself. Thus, when I rest, now I'm going to get stronger. I'm going to get a lot stronger. Here, I do it with the other hand now, like a cross. But I have a hand open for a palm strike variation, but the same, I'm doing as hard as I can, and that's it. So in this video, I only did 2 sets. I only did 2 sets of those. So go through them, do them once, take a break, rest, and then do them again. I didn't film me doing it again in this video, but I only did 2 sets. 3 sets max. You don't need to overload this, because you'll still be working out after this anyway. So you don't need to overkill this. You don't need to. For my legs, wall sits. Very great. This is why old school martial arts did horse stance a lot. It worked the same thing. Yet again, I'm still. So now I'm not going to hurt myself, because I'm not doing any repetitions. I'm just one spot. And with the wall sit, I do 2 things. Either A, sit there for as long as I can, which is like easier. And by me not moving, it really uses the tendons. It really activates them, because you're not moving. If you're moving, it's more muscle. But if it's staying still, now it's muscle and tendons. So this is how you actually get stronger knees and stronger ankles as well. They did a study with soccer players. And soccer players like knee pain. And they told them to do wall sits now. Do wall sits for a month. And the soccer players that did wall sits significantly reduced their knee pain. Why? Because doing this will strengthen your tendons. And your knee has a lot of tendons in it. Your joints have tendons, so that's why the knee pain went away, is because it strengthens those tendons and makes your knee stronger and less prone to injury. So definitely check out the guy I showed, No Limit Squad. He's awesome. He's great at this stuff. He breaks it down way better than I can. And so I'll do wall sits. Either A, I'll just hold it for as long as I can, or B, in this video, I'm doing it in this video, I'll get in the wall sit position, then I'll try to push off my back like I'm trying to lift up off the wall, like I'm pushing the wall. And I try to push the wall as hard as I can too. That, yet again, gets that time under tension, that pressure, without hurting yourself. So either way is good. But yet again, if you're going to push off the wall and like really push hard as you can, like you're trying to move the wall back, then only do that for, as long as you can, which is going to be a few seconds, and then that's fine. So here I'm kind of just waiting. I'm kind of just holding this for as long as I can. And you'll see now I actually start trying to push up, try to push like I'm pushing the wall up and back. For as long, that gets my knees stronger. That's how you can do side kicks really hard, how you can kick really hard. So now I'm gonna take a break. Yeah, I'm taking a break between doing these because you don't want to go to that and then go right into something else. So you do take a break, take a breather. This is how I get my side kick hard too. So I made this one up. This, yet again, like the overcome isometrics, like punching a wall. I've set my leg in a power rack. It can be any power rack to where there's a bit of my leg, but this is like a side kick position. And I'm going to push as hard as I can. Which I just started this. So this, I can't do that long. I just started this like a few weeks ago. And I push as hard as I can physically. Yeah, again, that fires the muscles and tendons saying, hey, punch as hard as you can. Kick as hard as you physically can. Do it for a few seconds to when I can't do anymore. And then you're going to get a lot stronger. Because now you're using your tendons, using your muscles. So you're going to get stronger now. Because it's time under tension. You work them. You work the muscle. Even though you didn't do reps, you work the muscle and you're going to get stronger. Also, it works the mind-muscle connection because I'm telling my brain, kick as hard as you can, kick as hard as you can, kick as hard as you can. And my brain says, okay, we're going to use these muscles, these muscles, these muscles. And yet again, by doing it so many times, you're going to get better at the movement. So I highly suggest doing this. And like I said, just found a power rack. So that's it for my isometric routine part. I do that at the beginning of my workouts. I only do that once a week. You only do it once a week, and each exercise is one set. So you do two, starting out 2 sets. Just do 2 sets for a while, and then do 3. But that's what you do, and just do them before the beginning of your workouts, and you're going to see a lot of results. Here, some form practice. Sleeve towel. Just practicing it with this. Forms are hit or miss. Forms can be good, they can be bad, but with this, I'm really focused on my technique and thinking of the muscles I use, thinking of my body position, economy of motion, what am I using, what am I doing, the elbow. I'm really concentrating on what I'm doing. Here, too, I suggest if you know how to do forms well, then I suggest closing your eyes and doing it slower. Because now I'm closing my eyes, but I'm really thinking about what I'm feeling. What muscles in my body, what muscles are my body using to do this movement? Because if you know what you're doing and you know the muscles you're using, you can get better. So I'm really feeling it. That's the thing. I'm just trying to feel it. Movements. One thing in this video I'll talk about too is that if you're working out and you're exercising, the most important things are sleep, protein. You know, there's only really the 3 ways to build muscle. There's only 3 steps to build muscle. 3 steps to build muscle, tendon strength, whatever. 1, work out. Work out hard. And it's simple. Just work out and make it challenging. Make it hard, you know. Don't hurt yourself, but you don't want your workouts to be easy, obviously. You want to like push yourself. With the overcome isometrics I did those movements for as long as I physically could. That's hard. That's good. So 1, work out hard. 2, rest. You want to be getting at least 8 hours of sleep. 8 hours, at least. Last, protein. If you want to build muscle, then you want about 0.8 grams of protein per body weight, we'll say. So if you're like 180 pounds, then roughly you want at least like 150, 140 pounds of protein a day. Not pounds of protein. Well, 140 or 150 grams of protein a day. That's how you build muscle. It's that simple. Now, obviously, you see the fire truck, my firefighter. So, you know, sleep's not the best. I'm not going to fake. But you got to do what you can do. You know, no excuses. No excuses. So if you're not a firefighter, if you have a regular job, you should be getting sleep. There is no excuse. When I'm at the station, it's hard to get sleep because the tones go off. And I got to do something now. I got to fire. So I have an excuse. But no, if you're not a firefighter, you have to get sleep. And when I'm off, I get sleep because, I mean, I have to. So sleep is important, at least 8 hours, because sleep is how you build muscle. Let's say it again, sleep is how you build muscle. You don't build muscle in the gym. You don't build muscle eating protein. I'll be honest. The way it works, you go to the gym. when you train hard, when you push hard, when you do something hard, you break the muscle down, you break the tendons down, you break those groups down. Then you eat protein, chicken, fish, any meat, peanuts, milk, a lot of stuff. Protein. Protein is how your body builds muscle. So you eat the protein, and then when you go to sleep, that's where the building process takes place. So if you get 6 hours of sleep because you're playing video games, 5 hours of sleep, you're not going to build muscle. Let me be honest. Because when you fall asleep and you sleep for at least 8 hours, that's where your brain says, okay, guys, we're asking you to start repairing our body. And so the way I was taught is like this. Let's see. Here we go. This is how it is. This is your body right now. When you work out, your muscles get tired, they get weaker. Oh, they bend, they break, and now your body's in a deficit of, we're weak now. You're sore, you're hurting, right? You're weak now, right? When you go to sleep and you eat protein, your body says, first, we have to rebuild. Not build, we have to rebuild the muscle we lost. So now, when you sleep, your body says, okay, we're gonna rebuild what we used, and now we're back to even. Then when you eat protein and you get adequate sleep, that's when you say, okay, we were here, and now we built the muscle back. Now we're back even. We're back normal. Now we're going to start getting a little bit stronger and add muscle. So it's 3 steps. It's not just eat protein, go to bed, and then you got to get big. Once you go to the gym and you're sore or you're hurt or whatever, your body has to replenish what you used. That's why you're sore, but then in a few days you're not sore anymore. It's because not necessarily you got stronger, but your body just rebuild what you broke. So it's so important to get a lot of protein in and eat sleep, because your body has to first rebuild what you used, and then on top of that, now we're going to build muscle. That's why it's important to get a lot of protein in, and then also get a lot of sleep in. So if you're not doing those 2 things, it's like, what's the point? There's so many hacks to get protein, it's not even funny. I do a lot of times. I'll either, Panda Express is pretty good. You can get the grilled teriyaki chicken. It's high in protein, low in calories. That's great. There's lots you can do for protein. There's even protein shakes, but also the LifeSphere protein shakes, and that's 42 grams for one little bottle. That's really good. A lot of ways to get protein. And then sleep, you want to get at least 8 hours. Why? Because your body has to rebuild what you used first, which is going to take time, and then add the muscle and get more muscle. So it's a process. You can't cheat the process, so you got to work out, get a lot of sleep, and get a lot of protein. If you do those 3 things, you will build muscle. You will get stronger. You will look better. Period. If you're not getting stronger, if you're not able to do more repetitions, if you're not able to do more weight, you're missing one of these 3. Either you're not working out hard enough, which you probably are, you're not getting sleep, and then you're not eating the protein you need. That's how you build muscle. So we're gonna right in. So if you don't do that, it doesn't matter what exercise you do. That's the thing. Yes, you'll get more mind muscle connection and you'll get better in that way. Yes, but you won't actually physically get stronger, bigger, denser muscles. You won't get denser tendons because you're not eating the protein you need. You're not getting the sleep you need. Sleep is where you rebuild that stuff. It doesn't matter how much protein you eat. If you're not getting sleep, your body's not going to be able to rebuild it. So you need all 3. And yet again, if you're getting all sleep in the world but no protein, how's your body going to build the protein and the muscle? How's the body going to build the muscle if you don't have the protein? It's not. So please do that. That's my rant for that. Please, if you're going to exercise, please do those 3 things. Let's get back to the video. Yeah, I told you this would be a long video. It's going to be a long video, but this is like the only video you need to watch about how to build muscle for martial arts and all that stuff. But here, I'm doing Selim Tao. It's a Wing Chun. It's a Wing Chun's first form. It's a great form. I'm not the biggest proponent of forms. You don't really need forms if you're trying to be a good fighter. If you're trying to learn for self-defense and stuff, you don't need forms at all. But I do it because my Wing Chun Sifu, Francis Fong, he's awesome. He's great. He's awesome. My first ever private lesson with him, we went over the form, and of course I showed him how I did it, and he showed me so much about that form, so much about how to do it properly. Why are you doing these techniques? Why are you punching like this and the bong stuff? Why are you doing all that? When he showed me that, my eyes were just, my mind was blown. So at that point, I think if you do forms, you should be able to know exactly why you're doing it. Not only why you're doing the technique, but why it's a structure like that. And he really broke down Selim Tao better than anybody's ever broken down any form. Like, he broke it down to the foot placement, the body weight, the mechanics, the counter motion, the body mechanics of the elbow, the back, the everything. It was very, 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 like, more than impressive, like expert level. So that's why I do it now, so I can really feel what I'm doing and kind of assess in my mind the body mechanics. That's very important. So yeah, if you don't know any forms, that's fine. Really, you don't need to. If you don't know forms, you don't need to practice them. They're fine. I mean, if you really are practicing for self-defense or practical use, you really don't need forms. Just shadow box, hit the bag, stuff like that, spar. You don't really need them. But if you're trying to get to the next level, in my opinion, if you're trying to be really good, then you kind of do need them to understand what you're doing. And so here, I did like a not Hopgar. It's a, oh my gosh. It's a Hackney system. I don't know how I'm forgetting this name. Oh, Pak Mei, that's it. I was doing a Pak Mei form, kind of a variation. And I'm doing some like tiger stuff, form stuff. So now I'm just also, this is still warm up for me. This is still warming up, honestly. I did the isometric stuff, and now I'm still moving around, just moving. It's really important. Like I said, the more repetitions you do, the better. The more I move, the more my brain knows what muscles to use, how to move better, faster. Right? Bruce many times said and wrote in his notes that he would do X amount of 100 punches a day and X amount of 1,000 punches and kicks a week. Like, yeah. Playing around with the Wing Chun guard and finger strikes as well. And so you'll see with this workout, I do both martial arts and weightlifting. And you'll see the weightlifting a little bit. But, yeah, weightlifting / calisthenics. But here, and now moving around, I'm actually practicing my kicks. And moving around. My kicks have gotten, like, sloppy and, like, slow now. So I need to really work on them more. Because I've been so focused on punching now and speed and power. That I've just kind of been lacking on the kicks. I'm not gonna lie. So I am trying to practice kicks more now, because I've really been just focused on like speed and power punching. Because with punching, if you punch fast enough and strong enough, you can knock the guy out right there, and that's it. There, just practicing closing the gap too. And yeah, I've been doing some sparring as well now, like more. And really just working on keeping the distance, and then when I do see opening, to close it fastly. So a lot of stuff I'm just kind of going in my head, but with this moving, I'm really playing around. I'm thinking of new stuff to do. It's creative. I'm not just hitting just to hit. I'm thinking of new ideas. I'm coming up with new stuff to try. And there's like a little blast, like a straight blast kind of variation of, which works really well. Let's see. There you go. Now working on the closing again. Because yeah, I mean, yeah, if you can close on a guy fast, and really close that distance, you're gonna be really good. I've really, I mean, that's one thing I always try to work on is closing speed, because that's so important when sparring and fighting. If you can, from distance, closing the guy instantly, you're gonna catch him off guard. And that's one thing I've done a lot, and it works. It works really well. Especially like a blast too. That really can close the distance and works really well against like karate guys. Like doing a straight blast, it works pretty well. You just gotta know how to do it. Which I have a video on that on my channel. Look up like, you know, JoelPollardJKD straight blast and it'll pop up. So you kind of see I've been practicing this stuff, moving around. So this could be you doing any of your movement, any of your fighting stuff, moving around, shadow boxing, you know, practicing good form. Notice the form. I'm actually doing proper form and technique. That's pretty big. And I said now recently I've been more focused on punching. So I'm practicing really using my whole body into the punch, correct form, body mechanics, moving, using different hooks. I like that. Oh, that's such a nice hook. I like. I learned that from a boxer friend of mine, which is like a Soviet style type hook. It's very effective. I love it. It works really well. I've used it. It's very deceptive. Now here again, we're going back into constricting, right? And again, mind muscle connection, telling my brain to hit as hard as I physically can, constricting all the muscles I need. So, you know, with that punch, I'm really constricting my arm. You see my forearms flex, my tricep, my back is flexed, my core is flexed, my leg. Like I'm really flexing a lot. And trying to get my brain used to, hey, when I need to punch hard, I'm using every part of my body to punch hard, not just my arm. And you notice too, I'm not telegraphing either. So I need to develop power fast without telegraphing. So that's the movement I'm drilling now as well. And notice too, I want to see the cross again. I might have to back up. With my cross, I'm really turning my hips too. That is a really big thing with the cross. Let me see if I can pause it. There we go. Okay, perfect. I see a lot of karate guys do the cross wrong, do their reverse punch, quote unquote, wrong, because they know to turn the hips, but they don't really turn the hips. So when I do a cross, the reason I can like hit decently hard, of course, I'm using my legs to drive off the ground. I'm using my arm, but I'm not just turning my hips. I'm really turning my hips into the punch. So that's where you get a lot of your force with a cross, is that rotational force. So I'm not just pivoting my hips, but I'm turning my whole body into the punch, to where it's not a pretty little reverse. No, I'm literally turning my whole body behind this one punch to get it hard, and I'm doing it fast. So, you know, that way when you punch somebody, you really punch somebody. You really hurt them. You really knock them on the ground. So after I did this like circuit of working out, hitting, like, you know, you can hit the bag. That works too. You can hit the bag some, or shadow box, move around. It's a little cardio. You're working on your cardio, and that's very important in fighting. Now I'm gonna work out and actually lift. So that's the first thing. After the isometric training and warm up, you gotta actually do your martial arts training, your forms and your shadow boxing, moving. Visualize you sparring, moving around. You're working on your technique. Don't telegraph. Doing that stuff, hitting the bag, or putting on the gloves and moving around. Then stop, take a break, and then you go on your first set of the workout. So that day, I hit biceps, shoulders, and core. So you're gonna see chin-ups are really good. Chin-ups work bicep and back. So here I'm really more focused on the bicep, but I'm doing as many chin-ups as I can. And with this, the weightlifting portion, I do 3 sets. This is the first set. I do 3 sets. And then after one set of my weightlifting and exercise, then I'll go back into the martial arts, moving, hitting, all that stuff. And then I'll go back and do one more or another set of my actual exercise. So there. Another key, when you're doing calisthenics, do it to failure. Do it to where you can't do anymore. So I did chin-ups, so I can do anymore. Now I'm going to do leg raises. Leg raises are great for core. Sit-ups, they're not it. They're not. You do sit-ups every day when you get out of bed. Sit-ups aren't activating the core as much as leg raises are. Leg raises, they're more effective because it's more time under tension. It's harder to do. So I do it so I can't do anymore. Then I do knee ups, or like frog kicks, I think is what they're also called. And yet again, I'm doing them until I can't do anymore. Doing 2 or 3 sets of this, you're sore, you're tired. That's why if you're doing calisthenics, you need to do it to failure. Train to failure. Here, I play around, do some finger push-ups as well. And another great exercise that I also did this day, bam, this is chest and triceps push-ups, but not the way you were taught to do push-ups. This is, if you want to get strong and powerful, this is how you do push-ups. You get in the push-up stand, you do them as slow as you can. No more sloppy reps, no more 10, 30, 5 reps. No. Do the push-ups as slow as you can. This overloads the chest, the triceps, the arms, the shoulders, and controls the body because it's more time under tension. So with this, I can only do a few reps like this. See? But it's so hard that I'm sore the next day. I'm hurting. And that's when we get stronger. So do this. This is a good one. I saw this from a few places. A few different martial artists do this. It works very good. One, Octavio, that is JKD. He does this as well. I think Octavio Quintero. He showed this, and they work. It works. It works. Let me go. So, for whatever reason, here we go. In this video, for whatever reason, after I did the pull-ups and leg raises, I did overhead barbell press. So, let's see. That wasn't in the video for some reason, but there you go. You see the barbells on the rack, and there's only 10 pounds on it. And so all I did, I went up to it, grabbed it, I put it up about shoulder level, and I pressed like this. 2. I extended all the way up and came down at a decent pace, for as much as I could. So I can only do maybe around 10, 8 reps, something like that. And that was it. So I did chin ups, leg raises and knee ups, then the barbell, press ups, or whatever you want to call them, overhead press, and I did the push ups. So all those were one set. So just doing those exercises once is one set. So if you're new, do just 2 sets. But you're getting to failure. This barbell overhead I did like this, I did that to failure. AKA I did it so I can't do it anymore, and I stopped. So I only could do 8 reps, and then when I can't do it, now I put it back on the rack. That's it. You do 2 or 3 sets of those. 3 sets if you're an actual lifter and you're experienced. 2 if you're just new to this. Then after those sets, after one set of doing it, aka after one round of doing, the pull-ups, leg raises, and then overhead press and push-ups, then I go back into the martial art moving. The martial art moving around. I didn't video all of it because it'd be a lot of video, but I go back and move around, relax, okay, using my brain and actually working on technique, punching form, thinking of combinations, moving around. So now you're getting cardio, the movement, and then the cardio, the stamina, because you're going to build stamina doing this. And also you're getting the weight training. So now the next day I was sore, and I'm sore because I did weightlifting. I did it for 3 sets. And then also I was doing martial art practice. You can see too on the side I have this paper. And if you click on my last video, it's going to be how to train JKD by yourself. And it's going to be me hitting this paper. I hit this, which I don't have video of me doing it on this video yet, but I hit this some too. And it really, you get a good workout in because the martial art part is more cardio and more brain thinking stimulus, that technical of your brain working and thinking of stuff and being creative, and then do 1 set of your actual weightlifting. And now for weightlifting, I will hit each body part, chest, shoulders, triceps, biceps, core, legs. So I do all that. And I do 2 or 3 exercises, 2 or 3 body parts per time I go to the gym or time I exercise. So that could look like, chest and triceps one day, or chest, triceps, shoulders one day, and then, biceps and core the next, and back. And that's really it. So it's really a simple split, but to make it more my while, I've started now to incorporate doing both martial arts and weightlifting. Because I would used to do just weightlifting one day and just weightlifting by itself and the overcome isometrics. And then the next day, do just straight martial art work, just straight martial art stuff. But through my new, more strength and conditioning workout, this is what Bruce Lee would do more of, was do the martial arts and the weightlifting, and then back into martial arts, and then the weightlifting, and then the martial arts. Because now you really overload the muscles, because you were lifting heavyweight at one point, and now you're back moving, punching, gotta be light, gotta be fast, and then back to lifting. And so this is more of how Bruce Lee did his circuit training, was this method, warm up first, warm up, stretch, get good and relaxed first. Do your isometrics, your wall punch, your wall pushing, holding the barbell out, wall sits. Then go in the actual workout you're going to do. And then do your martial art moving, your martial art training. And then go back in the workout. So it doesn't matter if you do the martial arts first or the workout first. But the whole point is to get warmed up first. Then go in your isometric stuff. And then either pick martial art first or workout first. I did the martial arts first, as you see. Me moving around, doing stuff. Then do one set of your weightlifting thing for that day, whether it be like chest or whatever you're going to do. And then once you do one set, aka one round of it, like let's say you're doing chin-ups, do chin-ups until you can't anymore, and then that's one set, you're done. Then go back into the martial art, moving around, doing stuff, then do another set. If you don't have a gym or you don't go to a gym, then, push-ups, pull-ups, all that stuff's great, Especially these slow push-ups, you'll get a workout in them, I promise. Do slow push-ups as slow as you can. And you got to see, oh wow, this is it. You'll be sore tomorrow. I can guarantee you that. So if you don't have any workout equipment and you can't go to a gym, then for your workout, you're going to be doing slow push-ups. You can do them on your knuckles too. I did them on my knuckles some too, like that. And I'll do a few of them, but slow. And then you're going to go to chin-ups, pull-ups. So chin-ups are like this. Chin-ups, then pull-ups, then leg raises, raising your legs up. If you can't do leg raises, then chin-ups. I'm sorry, not chin-ups. Then knee-ups or frog kicks. That's just bring your knee up. Your hand for the bar, bring the knee up. Start doing those. Doing chin-ups, pull-ups, and push-ups are going to work all the muscles you need anyway. Chin-ups are going to work your bicep and back. Pull-ups are going to work your back. Push-ups are going to work your chest, triceps, and your shoulders too a little bit. So you got to use all those muscles. And then hanging from the bar and doing leg raises and knee ups and stuff, that also still works on your grip strength, your forearm strength too. So don't sleep on calisthenics. So if you don't have a gym, no excuse. You can still, yet again, do your martial art workout, moving around, punching, kicking, that stuff. Then you stop, take a break. Then you go into your actual exercise of push-ups, pull-ups, chin-ups, leg raises, dips. Dips are really good too. Dips, do that. Stop, take a break. Then go back into your martial art routine. Martial art stuff, punch, kicks, moving, rolling, sparring, whatever. Then go back into the exercising. That's my routine right now, and it's going to change, but that's a really good way to start. It's a really good way because now you're teaching your body not just to be big and strong and just big and strong and big, but to be functional fit, to be able to lift strong, but be able to move, be sleek, be fast, be agile. The stuff you're going to need as a martial artist. So I think that was it. If you stay this long, that's very impressive. Really, that's very impressive. You stay this long. Yes, that was it. Trying to think of anything else. Yeah, so that's it. That is it. If you want to learn the stuff, if you want the real in-depth stuff, right? Bruce Lee's actual workout plans, his notes, his literal notes. Then, not only that, but JKD stuff, how to train JKD, real self-defense, all the stuff I teach in my course. You're going to go on the link in the description of this video. and you're gonna see the link. Hit the link. It's only $5. $5. Anybody can afford it. It was free for a while, but you know, I realized that a lot of guys will join and love it, but a lot of guys also would join and just not use it because it's free. You know, it's free. So they just didn't care and didn't use it. So I made it $5. That way you actually use your money's worth. You actually use it. You're going to learn that it's $5, yes, but my friend, it's much, much, much more valuable than $5. You got to be thankful. And yet again, it's cheap enough to where anybody can afford it. A kid can afford it. But with that out the way, be sure to comment down below. Comment down below if you got this far. I'll be very impressed. I'll be very, very impressed. And without the way, thank you for watching. Follow me on Instagram at JoelPollardJKD. All that is, that's just my YouTube name. So if you see my my channel name, it's that on Instagram. So JoelPollardJKD on Instagram. Go there, follow me. Let me know you came from YouTube. I'll follow you back and stuff. And with that out the way, thanks for watching. Keep training. Stay safe. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.